Vicente, I know maybe not the way you wanted, but co-main event, pay-per-view, I mean, does it feel like a bigger fight when you get a position like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's not the way I wanted it, but I'm grateful anyway, get this opportunity. And yeah, it makes it more fun, more people are going to be watching, more eyes on me, and I can, go out there, do what I do, have a great fight, and it's going to be fun for sure.
What did you think when they offered you this fight, right? Because Tyron Woodley, a former champion, of course, but he's had those losses, right? So people are saying, oh, maybe he's not that great anymore. So when they offered you this fight, did it excite you, or did you think, people are going to say, oh, you beat a guy that's not that good?
Man, it definitely excited me. Fighting a former champion, it's always exciting. It's definitely the highest level opponent I'm going to face till this day. And, he's coming off 3 losses, but he lost to the 3 best in the world. That's not like, a big thing. Not in my book, at least. I still think he's dangerous. I think that he's going to be hungry to get back to the winning column, And I'm going to be ready for the best Woodley ever. The Woodley that used to be the champion. Go out there and knock everybody out. That's the Woodley I imagine I'm going to be facing. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited and pumped for this fight.
I was going to say, when you watch the tape on him, I mean, as you said, he lost to 1, 2, and 3 in the world. That's really not that bad. So do you think people are making too much of that and maybe devaluing where he stands a little too much?
Yeah, I mean, I think people always expect us to be the same forever. And I mean, you cannot be, not everybody is going to be the champion forever. Or you're either going to lose that title or you're going to retire. It's one of the 2 options. So I think that when you leave that status, when you're not the champion anymore, people like to talk about it. They like to say you're not the same guy. They don't realize that the rest of the division is improving, is getting better, is studying that guy, and maybe they found something out and found a way to beat him. But it's not because he is not the same anymore. Just people learn and get better. So, I think he's still a dangerous guy, and that's what I'm going to be looking at for sure.
Does it feel like a big moment for you in your career? You know what I mean? Like, obviously the hardcores have known who you are and you've been kind of just below the surface, but you beat a former champion, co-main event, pay-per-view, like you said. Does this feel like maybe kind of that breakout moment for you?
Definitely it does. I do feel it is a different energy in a way, in the sense that I know people are going to have more eyes on me. And I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that people, and the real hardcore fans, they know who I am. They know my style. And that's what everybody's going to get to watch Saturday night. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great night for me.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, obviously you're not looking past this fight, but the welterweight division is kind of interesting right now, right? So what do you think makes sense for you? I mean, is there a fight that you're looking for? Because, you have the history with Leon, you have the history with Wonder Boy. They're kind of right up there as well in that second tier. So what do you think makes sense for you moving forward?
I mean, first of all, it's focus on this fight. I got to get a big win over Woodley. But I believe a big win over a former champion guarantees me a chance at the top 5, at getting somebody in that mix. And from there, I mean, I got a lot of options. Those 2 rematches are rematches that interest me a lot. And you got other names. You got Kobe. You got other guys that are there. And honestly, I want to fight any of them. Anybody in the top 5 after this. But right now, I got to beat Woodley first to earn that shot.
Right here. You fought on one of his cards before. I think it was UFC 205. Did you have any interactions backstage between you and Tyron? Like, did you bump into each other and chat at all?
Yeah, when I fought in 205, we were, I think both of us were red corner, so we were kind of in the same bus and everything. And I remember when we were going to weigh-ins, I kind of we had like some special things for that UFC that were from New York, and I was using the boxing boots that they gave me, and Tyron said, oh, that's looking dope and whatever. And I was like, man, the champion talked to me. That's awesome, He knows who I am, and he called me by my name. And I remember that was kind of like a big moment for me then. And now to be fighting him, it's an honor, man. I have always admired his style and the way that he was a great champion. And now I get to go out there and mix it up with him. It's going to be, something that I've always dreamed of, and it's going to be great.
Well, since you sound like you've been a big fan of Tyron for the majority of your career, is it frustrating at all watching his previous fights? Like, you know what he can do, but he finds himself kind of stuck on the fence, and he's not really throwing punches. A lot of people are wondering why he's not moving forward. So, as a fan of the man as a fighter, was it frustrating to watch those last few fights?
Maybe the last one against Kobe. The other two, not so much, because Kamaru and Gilbert were both my training partners. I was cornering Gilbert for that fight, so in a way, I was, on their side. But yeah, it's hard to see maybe his style not work so well against them. I don't know why it was. Maybe these guys have like something different that he didn't feel comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, if I like looking at my style, I know that I hit hard. I know that I can be aggressive. That's what I would do if I were in his place. But at the same time, we never know. Like, I'm not in his shoes. I don't know what he's going through. So, yeah, I can't say much about that.
And then being in the corner for two of those fights and then watching the Colby one, did you see tendencies in in those three fights that you can, without giving anything away, obviously, that you can take advantage of?
I think the pressure, all these guys pressured him, and that's something natural for me. I pressure my opponents every single fight. I walk forward. I try to, be in their face, try to hurt them every single minute I'm in there. And I think that's something that it's hard for him to deal with. In moments in these three fights, he didn't deal with the pressure so well. And with me, I mean, I'm going to pressure him. So if he can handle it, it's going to be fight of the night. If not, I think I can get a finish.
What do you make of the booking between Usman and Masvidal, the rematch? A lot of people, I think, were expecting other names like maybe Wonder Boy or Leon, but they went with the rematch. What do you think about that?
Man, I don't agree with it so much. I think that Masvidal, that was his last fight against Usman, so I don't see it so interesting. But we never know. He's gonna have a full training camp, as he said. In my opinion, it's not gonna change that much because Kamaru is a dominant champion. And, he can impose his will against Masvidal like he did the first time. But we never know. We'll see. I love Masvidal's style. I think it would be a better matchup against other guys. I would like to see him maybe against Leon Edwards. That would be a fight and that I would be interested. And myself, I would love to fight Masvidal. I think that would be, a banger of a fight. But we're going to have that fight, and it's going to move the division. That's something good because past that, we can see what's going to go on.
And one final one. Outside of Usman, pretty much no one in the top five has fought in each other. They're all kind of trying to get that top fight, and they're all kind of circling each other. So is just staying active and being one of these few welterweights that keeps fighting the most important thing moving forward?
For sure. I think that activity is a big thing. People remember who you are, remember your style. They want to watch you fight. Leon Edwards is an example. He wasn't active for a long time. And now he came back and have that unfortunate, fight, the way that it ended, and it didn't do much for him, And fans are kind of like, okay, what goes on now? Have that rematch or fight somebody else? It's the kind of thing that when you're not active, people don't, you're not that relevant anymore. Even though you're coming off many wins and in a good moment. You got to fight. You got to fight so people watch you and people want to see you challenge for a title or something like that. And that's definitely been important for me.